Hey there! Maybe you saw one of my little videos I posted earlier. It's about me, and I walk through the park, and with just a snip of my fingers, I transform fall into summer. And actually, this is more of a little teaser I wanted to make for a little tutorial series that I start right now. And actually, what I did in this video, the technique is the side effect of a despilling effect, an advanced despilling effect, so to get rid of the blue and the green for green screen or blue screen footage. However, it's great because you can transform your footage from the summer to look like it was shot in fall, which is a pretty neat thing, I think, because this effect is applied in just seconds. It is really fast, it renders really fast, and it looks stunning, and it is easy to set up. However, I want to go detailed through this little effect so you understand what you're doing there. And in this effect, it's totally regardless if you want to keep green or blue. So, let's get started. So we are now right here in After Effects. This is version CS 5.5. Of course, you can use any other version of After Effects. I think this should work in every version of After Effects since After Effects 7, I think. So this is CS 5.5. If you have a newer version, it will work in CS3, CS4, it will also work. So, what do we have to work with now? We have this little shot I shot myself. This is my little Charmin bear in front of a blue screen. So we have some blue screen footage on this badly performed dolly shot. And then we have some green screen footage, which we will start off with. This is not shot by me, this is shot by a company called HollywoodCameraWork.us, who have some nice courses, and within these courses they shot this lovely green screen footage, which we can use for our things to just learn a bit about keying and try out a bit new techniques. And this is perfect for me to show you. Actually, this course that they were shot for, this one is called Visual Effects for Directors, and this is a perfect course for many people who want to get started with VFX and or to direct films that have VFX in them, because it teaches you a lot on what to think about and such. It's a bit more expensive for many people, but it is really worth its weight in gold, and it's a very interesting thing to look at. And also this company has some cool iPhone or smartphone apps, works also on Android. And the particular one which is interesting for us now is Green Screener, which is a great app for lighting green screen correctly. And this is really, really great for setting up a green screen. It's $10 on the App Store or Google Play, and this is really worth its weight in gold. Again, this is a great app, and if you're into green screen more, you should definitely get this. Yeah, so this is the footage we have to work with now, and yeah, so now let's take a look at this particular clip here. You would think it's not that bad with the spill, and it's not too bad. However, we have several areas where we have problems. At first, we have, of course, a dress here, down here. In our chest area, we have a lot of spill here on the left side, which is not that good, and even on the right side we have a bit of spill in the shadows. It's not that easily spottable. It looks not that bad, but when we comp it into another background, it could look maybe very bad. So then, of course, very obvious, we have maybe a problem with the cloth, because we have to key it that it is still translucent at some level. So we want to preserve a bit of this. So we, of course, have to despill this. And then, of course, we have her hand or her arm, her skin in general, with a very much of spill here in this area. And of course, in her face we have also a lot of spill. Not a lot, but it can be a lot when you want to comp it incorrectly. Mainly here on her cheek, we can see the slightly green shimmer, and also, of course, in the shadows from her ear. So these are the problems, and why many people use Keylight to actually key the footage, and I use Keylight too. I like to use Keylight, however I don't like the despilling algorithm of Keylight, because Keylight can be very aggressive, and most important, it can be very noisy while it despills footage, and this is nothing that I would do, because I don't like to introduce noise. There's enough noise in the video already, so we don't have to improve it. At least not that kind of noise. So then we have also, of course, a lot of other techniques to despill footage. Of course, we have the spill suppressor, which is a built-in effect of After Effects. So when we pick the green here, we can see it gets rid of the green in the background, at least not at all. It's still a bit greenish, but we have all the spill removed in the cloth and her dress, however, but not in her skin, which might be the most important part to despill her skin correctly. And this is something that we cannot work with, also not in these areas. So of course we can use another technique, however, is like hue and saturation, which is a great effect for many things. And when we would go here in the greens and maybe we could desaturate it completely, it would somehow work. You can see it here, but still we have it on her arms, and even when we make the range bigger, we start to lose detail in her hand, but don't get rid of the whole spill, and this also is pretty bad. So this is the problem we have. So what are we gonna do about this? So the first thing I want to do now is duplicate the clip, because I always like to have it a bit organized, and for this I will duplicate it. I will rename it by just hitting enter or return and then just type despill. So now we have this renamed. So let's have a look at the color channels, because it gets a little bit theoretic, but it's worth it, trust me. So this is the red channel, and this is the green channel and the blue channel. You can cycle this, by the way, with Alt or Option on a Macintosh with 1, 2, 3. 1 is for red, 2 for green, and 3 is for blue. So of course what we can see is in the area of the green screen, the green channel is really, really bright. So in the other channels this is not that bright, and the thing is, that is pretty logically, we need to drag down the green channel to a level where it's not that bright, so we get rid of the green tones, which is pretty logical, of course. Now the problem is, when we would use something like a curves effect, just apply curves here on the spill layer, and we just set it to green, and we would like to lower the brightness or something like this. We have the problem that we also touch a lot of her skin tones and the dress, and this is nothing we want, because we actually need the information in her skin. So basically this leaves us with a very bad image. I will just show you what we have created here. It's just it just looks ridiculous. The first problem is we don't get rid of the green, and the second problem is that we have a lot of magenta now in the highlights, which is nothing. This is nothing we could use. So let's just delete this one effect. So I got some emails, as you can see, nice thing. So however, what we want to do now is, basically mostly I don't work in After Effects for these kind of projects, but I like to use Nuke, because in Nuke everything is math and you work in a bit of a different way. So I just fetched some techniques for Nuke, but we can translate this to After Effects, and this is pretty neat, because what we want to do is now we want to erase the green channel. We don't need this green channel, and then we want to average out the green channel with information from the red and the blue channel. So we basically make an average from this and this channel to create the green channel. So we drag down the color of the green screen in the background, but we don't drag down her skin tones and her dress, at least not that much. So let's give this a try. We have an effect for this, which is called Channel Mixer. Just drop it onto this display layer. And in the Channel Mixer we can decide how much of each channel gets into each channel. So right now it's 100% into the red, from the red channel, but 0% from the green and the blue channel into the red channel, which is just what we want, because we want, of course, 100% red. So what we want to do now is we drag this green to 0, which means that we now have, let me show you this, erase the green channel. So we only have a blue and a red channel. The green channel is just black, so we get this last magenta image. What we want to do now is re-erase the green-red value to 50, because we want the average, of course, and the green-blue also to 50. So basically, now we have a 50-50 performance between both channels. So basically now we have the brightness level and from the green channel is exactly between the red and the blue channel. And the blue channel is a bit darker, as you can see, and the red channel is a bit brighter, and now the green channel is somewhat in the middle, actually perfectly in the middle. What we also can do now, we can shift this a bit. Maybe we want the blue channel to be a bit more dominant. I wouldn't go above 100, so let's just keep it, of course not to 200. Let's always keep it so it gets to 100. Of course, we get a different result from this. This is nothing that we might want. So let's keep it at 50-50 for this shot, because I know it works pretty good. But this really depends on your footage. So now let's zoom in here and have a look at the dress, for example. The dress now has no green whatsoever. and the skin is free from green, which is pretty nice on her hand and also on her arm, and we don't have any left artifacts and we don't have any lost detail. Now the problem is what we see in her face easily. Actually, we see it in the whole footage, but here it's very clearly to see that things like her lips and her ear really got vanished from the scene. And this is not something we want, of course, because her whole makeup and her whole face color is left now. So what are we gonna do now? Because the step we did here, this somewhat despilled, degreened, let's call it degreened image is a pretty good step we took, but we somehow need to apply only the changes to this layer. So what we're gonna do is we want to use blending mode. So here are lots of blending modes, and actually I don't know any of them. I know a few of them, but not all. An effect which many people don't know about, but I know about this luckily, is the darkening effect. And the darkening effect basically does this. So this is some magic, huh? So let's just zoom in and check her face. So basically we just have the same nice lips, we have the same nice eye makeup, we have the same nice ear part with her nice reddish tone inside her ear, but we have lost all the greenish pixels here, all the green tint that we have in the skin tones. Even though it's not really green, it's a very, you can see this on the upper right here. You have a very not very high green in this footage, but it still is very greenish, and suddenly with this everything is gone in every part of the image, and this is pretty neat. Actually, we are already done with despilling, of course. So now the thing is, why this works is darken just basically darken changes only the pixels. So let me get this from another direction. So we have this image. So I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to explain this in English, so please stay with me on this. So basically, darken looks at this image, and every pixel from this image that is brighter than the pixel from this image gets erased and replaced. So basically, the green screen is obviously much brighter in this image, so it gets completely erased when I apply it. However, any pixel that is darker in this image, in this one, won't get replaced. So when we combine this, the averaged out green channel with this technique that we only exchange pixels that are brighter than in the original picture, and we get this. And this is pretty neat, and it's actually a somewhat perfect despill. And it's, as you can see, it's very fast and very neat. So now let's have a look at the bare footage, which I actually shot on my GH2. So this is not very good footage, and this is a problem for keying and despilling in general. So you can see in the color channels we have very smudgy noise and such. So let's give it a try just to apply it like we did before. So I want to rename this layer to base. I already did this actually. So let's do copy and call it despill. And now let's apply channel mixer, sorry. And of course we don't want to do it for the green channel, but for the blue channel. So we raise the red to 50, the green to 50, and the blue to 0. So now we hit make it to darken again, and as you can see, this is really fast. But also you can see we have some problems. Well, there's an easy way that problems can occur with despilling with this technique when you have very furry edges. So this does not look good, as we can obviously see. And the camera quality isn't too good, and of course we have the very much fur here in his on the edges. So how do we solve that? So there are some things that we can do about this. The first thing is we want to play around a little bit with the settings here. So what I want to do is I want to lower the red. So as you can see, as I lower the red, we change the color shift of the edges. So let's get it to 35, maybe we get it to 30. And when we look at the other edges, it looks pretty good. Could work in a key. So not too bad actually. We have a slightly bluish tone here, but this works usually. Now the problem with this is, of course, when we want to have the result of the addition of these two values to be 100, we have to raise the green to 70. And then we would reintroduce the blue rim. So let's leave this at 50. Another problem that you might have seen already is that we also colored his nose, which we of course don't want. We only want to apply this to the edge of the frame, and this is pretty bad actually. So what are we going to do about this? So what I want to do now is basically, if we already had keyed this, I would just copy the key. However, for now, let's make a new key. Let's duplicate the base layer, the untouched one. Then we rename this to key. Then we apply effect like key light. You can use any keyer, of course. This doesn't have to be very precise. We just want it to be rough. So let's do the key. I'll just hit it, select the blue. And we don't want to see the final result. We want to see the screen map, because now we can see really what we are gonna doing here. So most likely we want to get rid of the smudgy white here and the smudgy black here in the white areas. So we get into the screen matte settings. We just crush this. We really want to crush this because we don't need a precise key. We are not keying here. We just create as a matte, so we can use this with the despiller. So now we want to shrink down the matte, not too much, but a fairly bit. Maybe soften it, maybe even a lot. And now we want to use this as a Luma Matte for our despilling layer. So let's hit Luma Inverted Matte in this menu. And as you can see now, it only works up to this point. So here in this area we actually don't have a despilled image, which is pretty nice. So basically what we get is we get despilled nice edges, but we don't get colored interiors of this area. And this is pretty nice because we still have a good despill of this image. Now the problem that you can imagine is, of course, in this case, on this footage, it's not that bad, but maybe we could have some serious spill in his face area. What are we gonna do now? So basically, we would make a copy of both of these. So we call this despill edge, so we know it's only for the edge, and we call this despill body. So now we would reset these settings to 50-50, and actually now we don't use the Luma Inverted Matte, but we would use the Luma Matte. So basically this despiller would only despill in the core area of the bear, not on the outside, but on the inside, far from the edge. So basically we would still have a greatly despilled image, and this is actually pretty fast because, you know, you don't have to pull a great key, you just have to make a quick key, crush it, shrink it a bit and soften it, and then you have a perfectly despilled image, even with not that nice footage, which is a bit nasty to work with, but still with hard to edit footage we have a nice and very good despilled image. So now let's have a look at how we can utilize this technique for other things. So this is a shot up from the short I mentioned earlier. So basically this was shot on the Blackmagic Cinema camera in log. So it's this is just a little adjustment layer, so we just get rid of the very flat look. However, we can see this is very green in the background. So what we want to do now again is we just duplicate this layer, and we get us a channel mixer, and put it on the footage. Actually, I did myself some presets which just are this effect with the correct settings applied, so it's even faster. I just apply this one, despill green. So as you can see, it's just the channel mixer effect with what we've done before. Now let's set this to darken again, and as you can see, yeah, just works as before. It only affects the background, which is pretty nice, and it let it look a lot more like autumn, because the nice side effect of this effect for green screen is that it becomes this more reddish, brownish sort of thing. So maybe we can just, even when we add a bit more, maybe we add this to 60 but do the blue to 40, we can adjust this even more. This depends, I just leave it at 50-50. Of course you can achieve a lot more now. You could of course use some grading techniques to enhance the background even more. but for this film it was great, very simple. As you can see, this is a pretty nice technique to get rid of any color in the frame that we want without affecting too much of the rest. So pretty easy, pretty fast, nice technique, even for other tasks than keying. Thank you so much for watching. We are at the end of the video now, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this was helpful for you. I'm sorry I always take my time with these things, but it's really important for me that you understand what we are doing there, that you can understand the math behind what we're actually achieving, so that you can adapt this. And this is not just another fact you saw in an internet video, so that you really have something, a bit of knowledge from this video. So yeah, we will take a look at the actual keying in another video. We will do improvements on crappy footage, and we will do some easy tricks to improve, massively improve your keys, which is actually a pretty easy thing in my opinion. And yeah, maybe you won't hit subscribe so you don't miss the next part of the series, and yeah, see you next time.